Howdy y'all, welcome back to another episode of Toothless TV with your host, as always, Toothless Ty. First off, I want to apologize to y'all that it's been a hot minute since we've made a video. Had a bit of a busy year. I went ahead and fished the Major League Fishing Okie division. That took up a lot of time in the spring. And then summer, you know, wife plans a whole bunch of trips. We had all that going on, hanging out with family and all that sort of stuff. But feels good to get back on there. It is dog days of summer right now, early August, and I want to come out and show you guys what I'm doing right now on these clear deep water fisheries up here in the Ozark area. Really any highland reservoir this will work out for. I'm going to show you guys what I'm looking for on my graphs and exactly what kind of baits we're using. There's a few key baits that we're going to do in progression in order to see what these fish are biting on. And once you can pinpoint what baits they're biting on with this progression, it's cake. Y'all, this is easy peasy stuff. It may take you a couple hours to finally find that one good brush pile and that one bait that's working, but if you use this progression properly, easy. You'll be catching them in no time. Let me show you all what's up and stay tuned for the rest of the video. Real quick, guys, if you like this sort of content, please comment, like, and subscribe down below. Our goal for the end of the year is to get 1,000 subscribers. We still got quite a ways to go, but I appreciate it if you just comment and subscribe for me. Thank y'all. All right, guys, I want to go over the baits that we're going to use real quick. We're going to start off with what I like to first throw on every brush pile and then work our way down, okay? So first off, it doesn't really matter what kind you have, but a big swim bait. This right here, I believe, is a Huddle shad. I believe this is a Huddle shad. Anyway, the reason behind throwing a big swim bait first, because when you throw it over these brush piles, let me tell you, the fish aren't gonna bite primarily on this big old. You might get one or two, but the majority of the fish are not gonna bite on that. But what you will see on your live scope, or even if you are using down scan, you will see those fish come out of the brush pile and you'll see them come chase your big lure. A lot of them don't commit to it, but it'll let you know if there's fish that are in that brush pile. I'll try to show you guys a little bit as well on the Garmin up front so you can see that live scope forward-facing sonar technology. So after throwing the swim bait and deciding if this is even a brush pile worth fishing for, then we're gonna come in there with a few different options. This is kind of my three that, you know, we'll decide what they're biting on. Regular old spinner bait. This right here is more for the forward-facing sonar. I believe it's a live target, I don't know, minnow shad or something like that. But this pops pretty good on there, but any spinner bait will do. Next, and this is my favorite lure right now during this time of year, it's an amazing bite, it's an easy to fish, and they go crazy for it. And that's a regular old flutter spoon. This right here is a big old flutter spoon. What you'll do with this is you'll cast it all the way out there past your target and you'll jig it all the way up, let it go back down the bottom. Follow it with your rod tip down to the bottom. Jig it up, follow it back down. And while you're doing it, you're just reeling in your slack. Just keeping that on a slack line, just like you'd fish a Texas rig worm, okay? And that's what we're gonna do, and you're gonna get 95% of your bites on the fall, and you'll know. I mean, they come in and they hammer this thing on the fall. Now, you only do got your one treble hook. The other one I have does have a stinger hook on top, but the majority of these just come with the one treble. So you gotta make sure you keep this rod tip bent and you keep pressure on those fish, because unfortunately, you will lose them. Next up is the old hair jig. Pretty similar retrieve with the hair jig. You're gonna let it fall all the way down to the bottom, and then you'll just give it one big hop up. One big hop up. Then you'll let it fall back down. One big hop up, let it fall back down. Now, sometimes I'll throw a little different. I'll do it a bump, you know, a little two, bump, hop up, let it fall back down. And you're gonna do this very similar to the jigging spoon, or I'm sorry, the flutter spoon, but you can get a little finessey, a little different, almost like you're fishing a Texas rig worm, really. You just change up your retrieve a little bit, sometimes give it a little drag and then a pop, you know. You feel a little piece of cover, give it a second, pop it up over it. And primarily the fish will bite this on the fall as well, although I have had them bite it on the ground as I am dragging it. Last up, guys, now this is one of two that you can do. I love the drop shot. That's gonna be my finesse. That's gonna be the last thing I throw on a brush pile if I think there's catchable fish on it. And I'll throw the drop shot out there. Normally I'll have about a foot leader, quite long, about 12-inch leader, size 1 mosquito hook on there with a morning dawn, anywhere from a 4.5 inch to a 6-inch robo worm. Primarily what I like doing out here in the clearer water. But for now, I'm trying a little bit of a different technique. That's the Damiki rig. I know primarily the Damiki rig is a wintertime, tactic, but right now in the summertime, this is working out well to pinpoint those individual fish. Again, using the live, the live scope, the forward-facing sonar. But this right here really is a killer. And they, you just let it hover right in front of them, give it a nice little twitch. You just twitch, hover it right above their head. They'll commit to it like that. Very similar to the drop shot, but some of these brush piles in this dead of summer, I mean, we're fishing in 30, 40 foot of water. That's too deep for them drop shots, unless you got a 4 or 5 foot long leader and you're not even able to cast that sucker. So this right here is a really, really good bait to try out. So that's pretty much how I tackle all these brush piles in this summertime heat. Water temps anywhere from 84 all the way up to 88 degrees, depending on where you are in your lake and what time of the day it is. And this is not an early morning deal either. I mean, yeah, you can catch them early morning, but if I'm early morning fishing, I'm going to the pockets. I'm throwing some top water. I'm throwing a Texas rig. I'm catching those active feeding fish at that time, crankbait. But right now in the dead of summer, hell, sleep in, come on out, fish these brush piles. This is a great time of the day to do it. Midday, sun's up super high, all the way up until about the afternoon, 5 p.m., 6 p.m. And then you go back to the creeks. But for right now, middle of the day, this is a great pattern to run. Throw that big swim bait, follow up with, hair jig, spinner bait. What I'm really liking right now is that flutter spoon. And then you get a little finessey, if you need to. We're gonna try out that hover rig, Damiki, or a drop shot. But that's primarily how we're gonna do it. Y'all stay tuned and let's get us some big old fish. All right, guys, so I just want to show you what we're looking for when we are graphing these offshore brush piles. Now, I already had these marked. I got quite a few out here on Beaver, but what we're going to do is just go over each one and see if there's any bait fish, number one, any bass, number two, and then, just how the cover's setting up. And those are pretty much the 3 things you need while you're fishing these. Sometimes you don't even need the bait fish, but it definitely does help. I got one camera facing the screens here so I can show you guys exactly what it is we're looking for. So here we go. I'm going over one now. Let's see. I got my side scan on one, then I got my mapping and my 2D and 3D on the other. Here we go. I see a big old cloud of bait there, next to a brush pile off on a right-hand side, about 50-60 feet away. Didn't see anything worth going over there. Structures you guys want to look for while you're looking for brush piles are any sort of creek channel bend, coming off a point, flat point off a creek channel. But really those deep creek channels is what you want to focus on. Structures next to that, those fish like to come in and out of that deep, cool water. So to have that creek channel bend is really key here. Humps are really good too. I love looking at humps. Those are really a key feature that I'll target, and they're easy to find on your map. Just looks like a big old, bullseye. We're going over some now. We got some rocks, a couple bass there. Good number of bass right there. Right as we're going up the hump, as you can see, we're going up the hump, and look at that big old brush pile with all those bass on it. That's what we're going to be hitting right there. That's going to be the mark. We got some on the back end there. I'm going to come around, and I know I got a ton of stuff marked already, but we're going to go ahead and mark that waypoint 1108. Got to remember that. We'll come back around. Okay, got a big old Big old brush pile right there with some big bass. That's a new one I didn't have marked. There's just brush all over this little area here. Ton of them, all right there. Nice. As you guys can see, we got bass here, our boulders, little brush pile. Not really any bait fish, which is a little unfortunate, but I think we'll be able to catch them on this. I think this is going to work out just fine. All right, let's get on the front deck, see if we can catch some of these fish. All right, start off with the old swim bait. All right, so we had a few fish look at it on the scope there. They came up. They're not very active right in the moment, but we'll go in there with the flutter spoon and see what happens. Oh, got him, got him. Striper. Well, at least we know what's down there. All right, y'all, so I'm gonna go ahead and tie on the drop shot. These fish are really relating to the bottom, so hopefully we'll be able to get something that way. Got him. Pretty good fish. Oh. First bass of the day on the drop shot. All right, buddy, let's get you back in. Got him. Got him. There we go. Decent fish too. Oh, don't get off. Don't get off. Nice. Oh, that's the best one of the day right there. All right, not half bad. Second fish of the day. Now that's keeper. That's good old fish right there. Off the drop shot. Y'all, just want to let you know, when you come out here in this heat, make sure you got a way to cool yourself off. I mean, I could jump in the water, but then my heavy butt has a bit of a problem coming in with that crappy ladder that Skeeter gives you. So what I like to do is keep myself some water bottles and freeze them up, and you'll see what the rest is right now. Woo! Oh. Well, that'll wake you up. Got him. Got him. There we go. Decent fish too. Oh, don't get off. Don't get off. Nice. All right, well, we are really starting to put ourselves quite a big bag together. Check that bad boy out. Not that bad. My arm's actually getting tired holding them. Whew. It's a good fish right there. Caught him on the drop shot. They seem to just be wanting that drop shot. I guess just too hot for them to be actively feeding too much, but that is a pretty fish. We're gonna get her back in the water. Got a big old belly on her, especially out here on Beaver Lake. This is good. All right, let's get a release on this big old girl here. All right, I got one more robo worm left. I guess we'll stay on this spot since we've been getting a few bites, so let's see what happens. Got him. It's not very big. Well, maybe he is. Oh yeah. There you go, buddy. Bite. Ooh, smallmouth. All right, man, I love smallmouth. Look at that! Hell yeah! All right, so the drop shot strikes again. Got ourselves a smallmouth now. Hell, if we caught a largemouth, we'd get all three species out here today. Not too bad. I mean, hey, not the biggest bass in the world, but it was fun, man. I love smallmouth fishing, especially coming from Florida. This is a whole nother ball game right here. But hey, pretty successful darn day. We're getting into the end of the day. Wife got off work. Probably gonna have to call it here soon. But hey, not too bad. 5 fish for, you know, pretty good day. I mean, hell, we're only out here for 4 or 5 hours. All right, let's watch this smallmouth chase on out of here. This sucker's gonna go. Yeah, there she goes. Alrighty, y'all, so that's pretty much gonna do it for the video today. Out here for about 4 or 5 hours, got us on about 3 to 4 different brush piles. Threw about everything we had at them, threw that big old swim bait first. That was showing us if there was even some fish worthy of throwing, you know, more at. Then I'd follow it up with the spoon or the spinner bait, or I did have the hair jig, although I broke that off. But the player today was the old drop shot. They were hugging the bottom, so that drop shot was just you know, high enough up for them, and I don't think they were really eating too much today. We just had a big old storm come through yesterday, and today was, you know, bluebird skies, you know, 100-degree temps. So I think they just weren't really eating. They probably filled up, you know, the day before the storm came in. But anyway, it was fun, you know, taking y'all out here. If you guys did like the video, please comment, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. You know, I appreciate it. It goes a long way. And until next time, this is Toothless TV. We're out.